Hello and welcome back to the channel where we are building a video game from scratch using Love2d and Lua. Yesterday we got our character here updating with not only WASD but touch devices as well. So we've got that working. There's a couple of things we need to fix. It looks like we did fix the weird bugs we were having since the refactor, right? So like we refactored the movement and the animation to be simpler based on a sanitized input list rather than doing a whole bunch of if conditions. There is an issue on mobile where the game isn't running properly at all on Safari on mobile. And I did a little bit of tweaking, and it turns out if we turn off VSync, then we can get it to work okay. So that's one more thing we have to remember for a mobile deployment, is just to turn off VSync. I can show how that is. All we have to do that is in our conf.lua here, we would change our VSync to 0, and then let's in our main, we're going to come into our FPS function, and we're going to give the X a lefter value, a smaller value. So now we can see that we're running at like 430 frames a second, which is not ideal. I mean, I guess it's, I don't know. But once we turn VSync off, if we deploy VSync disabled onto the web, then on Safari, it fixes a whole bunch of bugs. It doesn't run at 60 FPS. It runs at like 33 on Safari, at least with my tests. And then it makes it run like 120 on Firefox or something. But the fact that it fixes, it makes it actually playable on Safari. So I think for our mobile deployments and stuff, we'd want to make sure that we turn off this VSync so that it works on Safari in case someone pulls it up on Safari, that it wouldn't break, because it would change our collision, which is a big deal. So another issue that arises with this is now that we're going 400 times a second, notice how our player is at a consistent speed. So like whether we were at 60 frames a second or 400, we're walking at the same speed, which is good. We want the frame independent speeds. But look at how fast our spellcasting focus goes. And that's because we did not scale this by delta time. So today we're going to be hopefully getting spellcasting working on touch. So we want it frame independent, and we want it working on touch devices. So if we can get that done today, that will be a big success. And then I'm going to try to edit the interview I recorded the other day. So today's probably going to be a short stream, but let's see how far we can get. Okay, so if we look at where our spellcasting is being happening here, we've got these values, okay? And where is it? Okay. Look, we actually do scale this by delta time, so it's just that right here we don't scale it here. I'm just trying to wrap my head around what we were doing. So like focus indicator X is the white bar, so like it's the output of your focus, whereas minus is the magic you have, like the concentration you have. It's like an effort tank. So minus drain is how fast your concentration drains, and the minus itself is how much of the concentration you have. What's up, K-Tronics? How's it going, dude? Hey, how was WoW? I was watching you a little bit. So it looks like we are scaling. Wow, okay, this is what we left off yesterday. But look at this. Oh, see, this is what we're not scaling. So look at how we have... Okay. Yeah, I just can't get down with... I get that you have to pay to, have the servers running and stuff, so, like, I get that they charge money for it, but I don't like the idea that if you pay $30 a month for 2 years and then you can't afford to play for a year, that they'll just, like, delete your character because you can't pay, I mean, maybe it doesn't work like that, but that was kind of my understanding. This is really weird how we've got this. We might want to refactor some of this. I wouldn't call this focus gain. What the heck did we name unfocus? Unfocus. Oh, okay. So unfocus is like the it's hard to explain, but like if you exert a constant amount of effort, the output is variable. So like it let's say you're exerting a certain amount of effort by holding space and it's constant. The speed at which the result of your focus changes is variable. So that's the unfocus. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, we need to come up with a better name for that. Because look at this. If unfocus is smaller than focus max and not unfocus growing, then unfocus is deducted. That is wild. So the idea here is we just need to make sure all these variables are being scaled by delta time, and then we would need to multiply them by about 60 or so to get decent values for the output. So let's just go through one at a time and just make sure that we're scaling each modifier by delta time. And then right here for the monostrain, we definitely want this scaled. Okay, focus indicator rising. Yeah, I think we want to scale all the modifications by delta time, so it's frame independent. It'll probably be very jacked up, but then we'll just modify these magic numbers. Maybe program some constants in to make it work, and then we'll worry about adding the touch detection for this, not just the spacebar detection. Because even this, you know what? I haven't thought about this so much because in my mind, yeah, you know what? We might need like a third button. I don't know if that's pretty un-Game Boy like of us, huh? To add another button. Because I'm thinking if you have, maybe we make it so that if you're carrying an orb is the element is what we're calling it, and the element is what allows you to cast a spell. So if you have an orb in your hand, maybe it's a 2-item, it takes up both of your A and B slot, and then A will be the orb that the hand you put it in, and then the other button will be the concentration you use to cast it. So maybe we do that. I just don't want people in the game to be... I don't want like a big effort to switch items all the time. I don't want that to be unfun, So if it takes up 2 slots, then you can't have your whatever other items we have if you're in spellcast mode. So we'll just have to find that balance. It'll come down once we get other stuff working. We'll kind of be able to see how that feels. Okay. Okay, let's see what our output looks like now for spellcasting. Should be slower. Oh no. Look at how slow it is. I don't see our focus indicator growing at all. Our Manus is draining very, very slow. It is so slow. I don't see our focus indicator moving at all. So Manus is the red bar. The focus indicator is the little white circle that's supposed to move right here. And then green is like the successful spell cast. So this is just totally bad. Okay, so let's say that we multiply this by about 60, which would be about 30 value. Let's see if that speeds it up. Okay, that's better. But we are not regenerating. Minus regen. Oh, because we need to scale this by the same amount. Okay, let's see. Okay. So at least it's draining and it's filling back up. Now this should be frame rate independent, but our focus indicator is still not moving. So let's see. Yeah, I think we need to scale this by... Let's put like a plus 20 in here. Oh, not here. Let's put it in focus indicator rising. Yeah, let's multiply or add some kind of value into here and see if our focus indicator is moving. Okay, there we go. Okay, sweet. So we just need to scale this by something. We should come up with better names for this stuff, because what the heck is this? Why would we... Dude, what were we doing here? What the... Why were we doing two things to our focus indicator X here? Before I touch this code, we literally have two lines of code that's doing like the same thing. Well, it's weird because it's like we modify it by our unfocus and then we add a scalar to it, which is just really weird. I don't know if this was intentional. Okay. Okay. I'm going to just turn this one off, and we're going to see. Because we should modify it by the unfocus, which is like the waiver. Okay, if we were to print up our unfocus, I think it would start at 0, and then only come down to... Oh, see, look at, we don't drain our unfocus. We should. We should drain our unfocus. That was commented out for some reason, but this is what I was looking for. Because see how the first chunk of concentration you use doesn't even exert a movement to the focus indicator? Oh, well, now it's hardly even doing it. Okay, I think we did this. We only want to do this, yeah, if space isn't held. Jeez, okay. Because what's weird is like now the white is... Yeah, let's just print up what our unfocus is, because I think this would illuminate why it's so jacked up. So we're just going to print unfocus on screen up here. maybe at like 5.5, just so we can kind of see it at the top left there. That is just the word on focus. I'm just making sure we can see it, so that's good. So let's put the actual value in there now. So we'll just concatenate our actual unfocused value, self.unfocus, to the string, and then print that value up. So it should be 0, right? What the heck? Just look at what our unfocus is doing. See, why would it be doing this? Our unfocus is going up to 1.3 and then down. Okay. I think instead of... Yeah. So the higher the unfocus, the faster it rises when you hold square or space. And then the lower the unfocus, the slower it moves. So this is the sort of variability. Oh, see, look, and then your unfocus. If your unfocus is lower than like 0.4, it like doesn't move at all. So we need to change that. We need the unfocus ratio to be always modifying the focus indicator, but modifying it less at the low end and more at the high end. So let's find our unfocus. What? I just realized I said let's find our unfocus. Okay. So this is why it's so slow, is because this is a 0.15 scaled by delta time. So let's just put a 15 in here for now, and it should be a lot closer. The focus, the unfocus should be a lot faster than it was. Oh my gosh, that's way too fast. Yeah, see how it's like hiccuping? When we, like, I'm just gonna hold spacebar, and it kind of hiccups to like go upwards. So like, let's say that this was 5 instead of 15, and let's see. Yeah, because now you can kind of see how crazy it is, you know, something like that. Because the idea is there's going to be a couple of different progression systems for the game. So like, when you first get your element, you can use your manus to extract some vibrancy from the element, so that you can cast your spells. And then there's a couple of factors here. How fast your manus drains, right? So right now it takes like, what, 5 seconds for the manus to drain all the way? That's one factor. Another factor is how many spells are surrounding you. Right now there's 3, but we can go as many as 5 or 6 and as little as 1. And then there's how crazy our unfocus is. So at the beginning of the game, I want it to be like a lot like this, where it's hard to cast a consistent spell. So you might be walking around trying to cast a consistent spell, and it's just really hard because it's hard to get your focus right. So like, you might be able to fight off some geckos. Let's see. It's like you might be able to come up here and try to fight them off here. Oh lordy. Looks like our knockback is not scaled for delta time. So yeah, we need to fix that. Holy crap. Okay, let's fix our knockback, scale it by delta time, because that is ridiculous. Okay, entity knockback for geckos. We set... Okay, so see how we have... We need to scale this by delta time. As well as multiply it by quite a bit. Because when we do times delta time here, basically, if our game was running at 60 FPS, what scaling by delta time would do is to cut it by a 60th. because delta time is the time elapsed in seconds since the last frame. So now that we scale our knockback by delta time, let's go find our geckos here again and see it. They should be knocked back very little now because we're scaling it by delta time. See, look, you can even see them getting knocked back. They just don't do anything. So we need to multiply our actual spell knockback. See, look how little of a number this is. We need to do this, scale this by about 60. So like 8 times 6 is what, 45? Dude, I did not get my times tables. I know 8 times 7 is 56. I remember that one. Let's see if we multiply our knockback higher. Now let's see. Oh, what happened? Dude, our knockback just got jacked. Where are we? I think we... Oh, okay. I think we... wait. Spell knockback. I can't even spell knockback. Okay, yeah, we need to scale our players' knockback by delta time too, because we got thrown off screen. Okay, let's try. Gosh, I don't even see the freaking knockback working. Let's see if we get hit. We need to up our knockback value a bit more, I guess. Wow, it just really doesn't do anything. Well, this... All these issues we should have had fixed already. We just didn't know because we were running at a stable frame rate. Gosh, our knockback... It's so tiny. Right? Yeah, it's so tiny still. Let's just see what happens if we do 500. Because 45 looked like nothing. So let's see what happens if we get hit. Okay, 500 is way too much. Let's try 200. I feel like that's even too much. All right, getting closer. Gosh. Okay, the other thing is, I don't know if we're scaling our drift, our slow to stop here either, so we're kind of slowing to a stop really fast. So I feel like if this is 200, we still need to scale this slow to stop. We are scaling slow to stop by delta time. See, why did we remember it for there? Okay. Well. Let's see, this is what, 250 on the spell knockback? See, I don't know, the geckos look like they get knocked back more than us. And also, dude, they're knocking us out of the limit. We should be clamped. Okay. Let me hit... Man, it's really weird that it's so... I don't like it. Let's maybe not quite double our slow to stop, and then let's see what that looks like. Okay, I think we want to decrease the slow to stop because we want him to skid more to a stop. So let's try that. Should be more smooth. Jeez, man. Okay. That looks more natural on the slow to stop, but they're just way too much knockback. This is looking a lot better. Yeah, I think we can bust the knockback up a little bit. We'll try that. What just happened to us? Dude. What? What happened to us? We need to get our clamping back. I don't know why or how we lost our clamping. Okay, for right now, I'm gonna make our unfocused drift a little easier because it's too hard. It's too hard even for the beginning of the game. It's just like it's more annoying than difficult. So let's find where our unfocus was set. What are you talking about, dude? Okay. So here our unfocus is, instead of 5, we're going to set it to 2, and let's see what that does to our actual unfocus value. Yeah, it's going from 1 to 0 or 2 to 0. Fairly fast. Okay. Dude, yeah, okay. It is just crazy. It's just too difficult. So we want this value to be, it's not that we want the speed to be better. This is a better speed, but our focus max should be smaller. It's like not modifying as much. So instead of 1.5, let's just put it at 0.5 and let's see. So it should be, look at our unfocused cycling. Wow. Okay. This is wild. Okay. This isn't as stable as I want it to be. I want this to feel more controllable. So this right here is when this is the speed at which our unfocus is growing, and then we're modifying our focus indicator by our unfocus scaled by delta time. So once we shrink our unfocus, we scale this. So I think we might need to scale. See, because I don't think scaling the unfocused by delta time is right. I think we need to scale the whole thing by delta time. I think we need parentheses in here. So we do our modification and then scale by delta time. That seems more right to me. Now let's see. Okay, so we can see the output of our focus is super tiny now. So that I think means that we can add a, I don't know, let's just add a +1 and just see. what that gives us. Because the scale by delta time is just making it so teeny. Okay. So maybe we can say... I don't know what constant to put in here, but let's put 100 and see how crazy it is. Because we're trying to offset the shrink from the delta time, right? So we could just multiply it by, well, I don't know. Man, this is tough. This isn't quite doing what I was hoping. Because we don't want just the unfocused scaled by delta time. We want the change to be. Yeah, it doesn't really matter. The delta time's crushing it. You know what? No, I think we keep the delta time. Let's get rid of the constants here. And we'll just, we'll modify outside the delta time. Let's see. Oops. What did I just do? Okay, times delta time. And then also times 30. Let's just see. Still teensy, man. Teensy, teensy. Okay, this is just not working at all. Okay. I mean, this is better. It's still too variant, right? Like our unfocus is just too much. So let's go about and let's go to our conf and turn on VSync so that we get a much lower frame rate, and we'll test and make sure the knockback is looking okay. See, look, now that looks more constant. Oh man, but our focus indicator's looking so much better. Now that it's slower like this. But that means we weren't scaling it properly. Let's see how knockback is looking. Wow. Yeah, our knockback is jacked up too. Shit, man. Our knockback is not scaling properly. Okay, well, we weren't scaling it based on a bottom collision. But our slow to stop must not be being scaled by delta time either. Look at this. I have a note here that says was causing bugs. I feel like this is something we just like gave up on. I don't remember moving on without fixing this, but we do have a note in here. Yeah, I mean, it looks like we're scaling it by delta time here. Why do I say should nest in self.hit? Oh, because, yeah. Because what this is saying is, well, I guess this is fine, because this is saying, well, no, I don't think it's okay, because we would have... So it's unique because delta x is supposed to be the change in x position, so we're supposed to be able to say, like I'm not convinced that our self.dx is literally our change in x position. I think we were using dx as a sort of like update our y position based on dy, and if we're holding buttons, increment our dy, but we're not doing that. What we're actually doing is modifying our x position based on our walk speed, not by our delta x. So ideally, I think what we should have been doing is modifying our dx by our walk speed and then modify our x and y by our dx and dy, but we are not doing that. So part of me thinks, like, in a perfect world, when we were modifying our dx to be a slow to stop right here, we're doing this only if we have a dx and dy, but this, I don't think dx and dy is being calculated correctly. So I think our slow to stop might not being... I don't exactly know. But all I know is we're way too... That looks fine. See, that looks fine at this frame rate. It's just that when we have VSync on, we go really slow. Whoa. Yeah, it's like our slow to stop is just not scaled properly. So what is going on? Wow. Like, he pushed us. He gave us a DX off screen that carried on to the next screen. Like, look at that. Yeah, we skid to a stop even off screen. Look at this. Yeah, it's so jacked up. Wow. Okay. Slow to stop. Now what's weird is we must be doing this because we do slow to a stop, so that must mean that we are doing our DX and DY, because otherwise we wouldn't slow down. Okay, and then yeah, we modify, see, we need to like inherit our current DX also. Don't we? Yeah, because we're just setting it to be... I guess not. I guess we shouldn't have them stack like that. Hey, Norix, how's it going? Nice emote there. Okay. See, we need this clamping for not just our gecko, but for our player, because right now we're able to get knocked out. I wonder if we have any clamping for our player. No. At least not commented. Okay. I was hoping we were going to get touch working for spellcasting, but instead we've been kind of chasing down this frame rate independent spellcasting. So we're not going to be able to get what I was hoping to get done, but we can clean up a lot of this code, because look at all this junk. This was our direction before we refactored it yesterday. So this was our old direction. And we moved it, we kind of compartmentalized it into one spot, into our walk state instead of our player class. So that's nice. But we aren't scaling our slow to stop correctly. And I don't know why. I think we need to inherit our current dx and dy upon the slow to stop. Are we not doing that? We are taking our current dx. Okay. Okay, so there must be a there's got to be another way we don't do any other call of this slow to stop. It's just right here. It's literally just right here. Okay. I'm sorry, I don't know what RTOS, real-time open strategy? I don't know what that is. But hey, congrats on starting Lua. I hope you like it. I think it's super friendly. Yeah, it's like super simple. I mean, there's some weird quirks it's got, but I think there's some in terms of learning a language, it's one of the best to just like get running with. Yeah, I think we're going about this the wrong way. There's no, because I'm trying to like walk through why it's not working, and we need this. Like, what's weird is this slow to stop variable. All it is a number 1.5. So we're saying keep adding 1.5 to our dy until we are at a dy of 0. So it's like it's a variable. It's just a variable, a constant that we're adding until we reach 0 again. So it's supposed to negate our change in x and y position. But the reason why it either takes so long to stop, like why would it take so long to stop when we have 5 times as many frames? It either means that this is in our update function, right? Yeah. So if it's 1 frame a second, we would add our slow to stop times 1 until we hit 0, and then, yeah, if it takes 60 seconds, we would add a 60th of 1 over the course of 60 frames, which would be 1 second. So maybe it's not real-time operative system. Okay, hey, that sounds interesting. If you've got any stuff to share for it, let me know. You can share either here in the chat or on Discord over there. I'd like to see what you're up to. Okay, let's try tweaking this and see if it is just way worse when we tweak it. So we're going to go to 1 instead of 1.5, and I believe our VSync is turned on because that's why we're at 60 FPS. Let's see what slow to stop of 1 looks like for a knockback. Holy shit. Yeah, that is crazy. I can't even get back on screen from that. So yeah, that's just like way too much, right? And then if we go into our config here and say VSync is actually off, now let's see the slow to stop and see if it's either way better, way worse. Ideally, they're the same. But see, look, now that looks okay. That looks decent. That looks decent when we're running the game at, what, 400 frames as opposed to 60. So I thought that scaling by delta time would fix this issue. Let's print up our characters DX and DY because I think something is going wrong there. Let's do print. This is just going to be test. Okay, we can see it. So let's try to put our value in there. It's going to be our DX, and then we're going to concatenate. With our self.dx. I'm assuming that this dx is what's not getting scaled by delta time somehow. And then okay, so dx 0. So look, like our dx, our change in x position is a positive and negative number depending on which direction we're moving. Okay. See, it is our dx. Our dx isn't getting scaled properly. But like, it's wrong first of all, and then it's wrong on top of that by being a bad value. So how do we... Okay, so I think since our dx doesn't exist over time, it's just a value. I think we can not scale... Well, this shouldn't... Let me just get rid of this and we'll see. We're going to have to cut down our spell knockback by quite a bit to make this not crazy. So let's just put 10 in here and see where that gives us. Okay, see how we're like not moving at all. But also if our DX isn't strong enough, our slow to stop will stop us right away. Okay, so look at that looks okay for this 340 frames a second, but let's see how it looks like with VSync turned on. Oh, man, it's still jacked up. It gives us a way big DX, like, it gave us a DX of like a negative almost 2, which actually sounds like so tiny. Let's see. DX of... Oh, come on. Oh, shit. Yeah, minus 1.5-ish versus... But like, you know, it sounds like a tiny number, just, oh, minus 2, and it's like we skid across the whole floor. At a Game Boy resolution, 2 pixels per frame that the game's running is quite a big distance. So that's why it's like, it's only 2, but it's like, see, look, see how that's like negative 0.1. So why are we getting a different DX depending on the frame rate? Like what? Why do we get inherited right here? Oh, and this is, okay, so well, this is the wrong spot. This is in the gecko fire collision. We want the gecko enemy collision, so it's just knockback, right? Knockback, player knockback, here. Okay, so look, we don't want to scale by delta time for the value we're getting, but we want to scale by delta time for turning it back to 0, if that makes sense. Because, yeah, we don't want to scale the knockback value. We want to give it the same value, no matter what frame. We only want to scale the speed at which it returns, the speed at which it slows us to a stop. So this, I'm hoping, let's see. We had, dude, look at our DX was minus 100. Spell knockback. What the dude, that was nuts. So let's take our knockback way down. Like we used to have it, right? Wasn't it like a 1.5 or something? So this is at 390 frames a second, VSync disabled. Oh, shit, that's still way too much. It's because our DX is just so teeny. Like our pixels are so teeny, so like even a DX of 1 is 1 pixel a second, and at 350 frames a second, it's just so fast. Okay, so that bumps us back a little bit. Let's see if we put VSync back on, if it bounces us back the same amount, because we are scaling the slow to stop by delta time, and now we're giving us a consistent DX, so we should be a same amount of knockback, but it's not. See, this is like a teeny bit of knockback. So what is going on here? All right, let's just look at the values again. Let's see. Because honestly, our DX should be the same no matter what frame rate we're getting. Right once we get hit. It looks like it's like a 0.3 or 0.4. 0.4 almost. Once we get hit with VSync turned on. So if we turn it off and run it again, is it a 0.4? It does look like a 0.4. Okay, so our DX is looking right. We're just not... Dude, why? We must be doing something weird to our DX outside of our slow to stop. Right? How else would we be screwing this up? All this is saying is, hey, if we're moving to the right, then we're going to take our current DX and change it to be whatever our current DX is, subtract a slow to stop scaled by delta time. So it should be consistent over time, slowing to a stop. Yet, we have different times. Yeah. You know what? I want to see... I want to see the actual value of our dx the instant we collide, and just verify that the dx is the same starting point. I think it is, but I really can't tell. I think the way to go about this is in our conf here, we can toggle on our data console. And then if we run the game with a print statement, we should be able to debug some. So let's go back to our knockback. Okay, we want to look at what our DX is for our player. So let's... We can actually... We don't have to put this in the render function. We could just do it right here. Actually, I do want to see kind of at the end of the update for the map. So we'll just put it at the bottom here. Let's just say print scene view dot player dot dx. Okay, let's try that. Let's see. We should see a console of it. Scene views a nil value. No. Yo, we're able to do it here, so why player.dx? Sceneview.player.dx, yeah. That's exactly what we're trying to render. Wow, this is super jacked up. Okay. DX is 0. Let's see what value it is when we get hit. All right, well, it prints it for every frame and we can't see. Let's see what it... Can we scroll through this? Oh, come on, man. We can't even scroll through the console log. Okay. Well, it looks like our DX is being assigned, I don't know why, our slow to stop isn't scaling with the frame rate. So I have a hunch that we're doing something unique with our players.dx somewhere. Okay. It looks like we're getting the same DX value upon a collision. It's just that our slow to stop isn't scaling, and I don't know why. So it looks like 0.3 or 0.4 right when we get hit. And that should be the same no matter what frame rate we're running. So let's see if we're getting that 0.4 again. Yeah, about 0.4. Just for whatever reason, when we're VSync disabled, we just get a much higher knockback. Oh my goodness. And then the gecko's knockback's crazy too. Oh man. Okay, it has to be. Because if we didn't scale this by delta time here, then depending on the frame rate, we would be adding a different value. Like, I'm curious what happens. Oh, that would change it by so much. Let me try to get rid of delta time here. I know, that should be the fix, is to add delta time here. But then I'm gonna just make sure the slow to stop is like super low. I mean, it should be even lower than that. But let me just try to compare things, because I don't know what's going wrong. So the only instinct I have is to like change stuff and see what happens. Okay. So we get like a very... Yeah, see how we're getting like 0.4 dx right off the bat. And then if we come into, we want to take our VSync on and see what our knockback is looking like. Now we're not doing anything. Okay. Let's see. Let's increase slow to stop a bit. I don't know why it's busted, so like I'm just taking things out to see if I can find anything. Okay, so the smaller this number is, the longer it takes to come to a stop. So if we give it like a 0.05, it'll be faster than a 1. Or it'll slow us down slower. Okay. Oh my goodness, dude. Okay. So now that that's moving us super slow, I just want to see what VSync disabled does. Because I would think this would knock us back like crazy and we'd be flying back. It doesn't. Yeah, this is just such a teeny number. Okay, so like look at that slide we've got going on. We go like half the screen worth of a slide. Yet if VSync is true, it looks like this. It looks like the same. Just slower. I don't know what we do here. This should be the answer. Because the value we're adding here is just a constant, like 1, for example, for the slow to stop. DT scales it by that, so it'll, over the course of a second, modify our dx or dy by 1, and if our dx upon a collision is around a 0.4, that would mean that it would take about a second, 2 seconds and a half to stop us from a knockback to where our dx is completely 0. So let's see if our dx takes about a second from there. I mean, I guess what we could do, we could give dx to be, we could set our spell knockback to be equal to 1, just for some like easy math. We say, okay, if we get hit, and this is in the gecko, this isn't in the player, which I think is also confusing me a bit. Okay. So we change our spell knockback to be 1. That means when we get hit, it is a +1. And then we're going to slow to a stop if we have a positive, or if we have a non-zero velocity. We're going to change that velocity to become 0 over the course of time by modifying it closer and closer to 0 over time. So if our slow to stop is now 1, then it should take us constants. Where's our constants? Slow to stop is going to be 1. So we're going to have a knockback of 1, and we're going to have a slow to stop of 1. So what this should mean is once we collide with a gecko, our dx would be 1 or -1. And then over the course of 1 whole second, it should decrement or increment up to 0. So it should be a total of 1 second that we are getting our dx modified. So we should slow to a stop over 1 second. Let's see. It looks like we're taking about 1 second to slow to a stop. So let's go into our conf and turn off vsync so that we're running very fast. Come on, what are you doing? What are you doing? Okay, vsync is off. We're running at like 400 frames a second now. Let's see if it takes 1 second to slow to a stop. Okay, I think it did, funnily enough. I think it did take a second to stop. It's just that our velocity was so much. Here, let's do it against the wall here. Stop it! Just do it once! Yeah. Okay, so we are slowing to a stop. It's just that when we modify our x position by our dx, we're not scaling that by delta time. That's got to be the issue. So wherever we're doing this slow to stop, that is all correct. It's just that when we do this, we don't scale this by delta time. So we were modifying by the velocity multiple times a second versus a consistent time per over time. So let's see, this should give us the same slow to stop no matter what frame we've got. So we've got what, 350 frames a second. Oh, see, like we're getting so teeny. We're slowing to a stop so fast that our dx, no we're not. Because our dx is a positive number, but we aren't getting, I think we just have to up our knockback by like a factor of 30 or so. But see our dx? Okay, let's see. Shit. Let's try to increase our knockback now. Okay, let's give us a knockback of 60. Let's cut our slow to stop. You know, we want like 1/3 of a second. We don't want to be sliding for more than 1/3 of a second, right? So let's do that. Dude, okay, I'm misunderstanding how we're making this to work. Okay, we want to slow faster, so we do have to increment this value slow to stop. It's not the seconds in which it takes to slow to stop, it's the value that we're modifying our dx before it becomes So like I guess like the ratio between knockback and slow to stop is how fast it takes us to skid to a stop, right? So like if we slow to a stop every 20th, like 20 values every frame, then if we got 60 as a knockback, it would take us 3 frames to slow to a stop. Is that right? Because that's the ratio that we're working with here. Not quite. So our DX, yeah, gets to be a huge number. Let's just see if this is frame rate independent. So let's see. So it skids us and then we slow to a stop. Okay, let's see how it looks on the other mode. Okay, so this is at 60 FPS now. Okay, at least it's consistent. Okay, that might be right, Warren. So that might be right. So if we want it to be like 1 second, we would just have the same value. Well, let's see. Knockback at 20, slow to stop at 20. Let's see if it's 1 second of time now. Okay, yeah. But we need the knockback to be stronger, so maybe 60 knockback. This is weird that we use the same. If it's a constant, we can literally use the same thing. If we like the 1 second slow, but let's see. We should get... Okay, nice. That's getting closer. Oh my god, stop it. Okay. That's looking closer. Let's just verify that. Even if we're running at 400 frames a second, that it's behaving similarly. Because this is what I was running into this issue, because on Safari the game runs at 30 FPS versus 60. So since our spellcast wasn't modified for this frame rate independence, on Safari you could spellcast all kinds because the focus indicator was just moving so fast. Okay, cool. So we should slow to a stop a little faster. So we should make that variable a little bit bigger. I think the knockback looks pretty good, but we should make the slow to a stop a little bit more... I don't know how to even phrase that. Yeah. Okay. Let's see how the gecko knockback's looking like. Oh my god, they're just... Okay. Okay, it doesn't feel like it used to, and I'm trying to pinpoint why. I think we need more knockback and a little faster, so if we need more knockback, then we can make this a little faster. That's looking better. Okay. That is looking better. Okay. Now the only thing is, I don't know, is our focus indicator frame rate independent? It looks like our focus indicator is going a little wild at the moment. So we haven't quite got that balanced out, but at least our knockback is consistent now. So that's good. Okay. And then we'll push that up. And then tomorrow I'll be doing the focus system frame rate interdependence. or independence for our spell casting, because look at how wild our focus output becomes. So we'll get that consistent, and then once those two things are consistent, both the mana strain and the mana regeneration, as well as the focus indicator and unfocus variable. See, an unfocus is like the variable at which your focus output is being modified by. So it's like if you had a stable, if you could focus perfectly, a constant input would make the bar rise at a constant rate, but unfocus modifies how much that's being modified. But so like if I just hold it, see how it kind of like wiggles up and wiggles, it kind of like speeds up and slows down. So it like changes how it ramps up given a constant input. So that's one of like the scaling, what do you call it, progression system in the game, where it's like the better you get at spell casting, the more proficient you get in spell casting, the more stable that'll become, so that you can be more consistent at casting the spells. And then once we have those stable, then our game will have consistent effects for the mobile deployment, which on Safari gives us 30 FPS. So this is a time, a thing we've been needing to fix for a while. So I'm glad we're doing it. It's something we have to do, and then it's something we have to keep in mind going forward, is just, hey, is this something that needs to be scaled based on the frame rate? And then there was one more thing I wanted to do, but I am spacing it right now. Okay, well, I'm gonna call it a night. I'm gonna go edit the first interview I did for the channel of another game developer. So I'm gonna try to get some of that done tonight so that I can post it hopefully by like Monday of next week. I'm thinking I will, once I have the edited video, I think I will live stream the record video. So like it'll be a live stream but not live. It'll be an edit. But I think I'll stream it for anyone who wants to view on Twitch, and then I'll post it up on my YouTube once it's ready. Hey, what's up, Magnetonics? You caught me at the end here. I'm just heading out, so we'll be looking for someone to raid here. But I hope you had a good Temtem stream. I saw you were out there. I see that we've got Doomfish Dev. Let me make sure he's programming. Oh no, he's playing a game. Here, I want to find someone who is programming. Let's see here. You know what? We'll just raid out to Hypnotic, because I know he's programming. Or eating. Last time we raided him, he was like in the middle of an eating break. Yo, Hypnotic! What are you doing here? We're supposed to raid you. Wait, so are you taking a break right now? We were just gonna raid you. This happened to us last time. Okay. All right. Well, hey, we'll raid you then. Hey, thanks for lurking. So yeah, I'll be back tomorrow, and then next week we'll have our first episode out of a developer interview series. So stay tuned for that. It'll be also posted on my YouTube, which is just Finding Focus on YouTube. So keep your eyes peeled for that if you're into interview stuff with other developers. It'll be a series I'm planning on doing more of, just depending on when I can find guests and projects, because the whole thing is like I find a developer who has a certain project, and then we highlight the project and I talk about some of the tech, or I ask them to talk about some of the tech that they used for it. And I'm hoping they get more game developers and some like web developers, just anyone making cool stuff that I think I, am interested in, I would like to interview for the channel. So that'll be an experiment going forward here. But we'll raid out. I hope everyone has a good night. And thanks, Hypnotic, for the for the lurk. We'll raid out here. Man, and I spelled Hypnotic wrong. There we go. All right. Have a good night, everyone. Thanks for watching.